in Northern Ireland. Would you say that's major? That sounds major.
Yeah, it sounds pretty major.
And Scottie Scheffler took the biggest cut of the pie, taking home his 4th ever major. He is 1 major away now from the career Grand Slam, and he is doing things that is making us invoke the name that shall not be said. The Voldemort of golf, the guy that we got to stop acting like every time somebody gets a couple of majors in a row, every time somebody starts to show some kind of reign of dominance, we all get together, we huddle up, and we say, hey, is this Tiger? Is this Tiger Woods 2.0? Is it happening again? Like you start seeing statistics on SportsCenter. You wake up the next morning after the Open and you see anchors comparing his run and specifically down to the amount of days to what Tiger did back in the early 2000s. And all of it starts to give you that warm, nostalgic feeling of dominance, the Sunday Red, the extravagant personality that was. And I'm wondering, C-Cat, if we're getting out ahead of ourselves. It's Emotion Monday. You are my golf guy. You're in the thick of it. You're in the weeds with it. You might have golfed more times than Scottie this past week with the way that you build your schedule around playing 18 as many days as possible. So I kind of want to spend today on Emotion Monday picking your brain on what the hell we are actually witnessing. We've been through it with Rory. We've been through it with Spieth. We've been through it with a guy that grew up in our backyard in Brooks Koepka. What the hell is this Scottie Scheffler train that's happening right now, man?
What's making it different with Scottie Scheffler is the sustainability, because we've seen the dominance. Even like in a PGA season, we saw dominance with Jon Rahm in his final PGA Tour season before he left for the LIV Tour. We've seen the major dominance with Brooks Koepka, as you're alluding to. We saw the golden child, plural, really, children, with Jordan Spieth and Rory stacking up wins in big moments early in their career with Rory and with Jordan Spieth. But we're not seeing the sustainability and the boring aspect to it like we're seeing with Scottie Scheffler. Spieth would take on the hero shot early in the career, and he would nail it more often than not. And eventually you can't really make a career on that by taking those chances, and he's finding that out the hard way. To a lesser degree, Rory McIlroy plays golf at a very exciting level, and he kind of lacked the closing ability until the 2025 Masters, where he finally broke that drought to complete the career Grand Slam.
Can I say something about that, though?
Yeah.
Can I say something about that, C-Cat? Can we say the guy actually has the closing ability if it took him nearly a decade to do it in that sense? Like, is it that he has the ability, or does he just have the ability to do it from time to time? I feel like there's a total difference. Like you don't earn the Mamba mentality and the Jordan-esque closer kind of moniker without being a person who repetitively does it on the big stage. Rory finally got it done, you know?
No, yeah, you're exactly right. Like it was kind of irregular how he was not able to do it despite having all the stats up there, tee to green, putting, leading the tour in driver distance. Yeah, it was weird, and now he eventually got over the hump despite also collapsing in that very same Masters that he did win. What Scottie Scheffler is doing is turning Sunday golf into kind of a bore, because he closes the door on Saturday, and he never gets too high, and he never gets too low. He hit like 3 fairways on Friday and was still hitting greens at a above-average rate. And what was holding him back last season, preventing him from having a best season ever type run. Had a great season last year. Not a best season ever. He had a guy win 2 majors on his watch in Xander Schauffele last season. He couldn't putt. He was like below average with the flat stick in his hand. And, oh, by the way, he just so happened to lead the entire tournament in putting at Royal Portrush over the weekend. Crazy. So he's just connecting the dots. His bad days are better than many tour players' good days. Ho-hum had the best tournament round in a major of his life on Friday, I believe, or was on Thursday?
I think it was Friday.
On Friday with
64,
a 64. Right? Yeah, 7 under 64. And he's just doing it as a father, which would get in the way of a lot of other golfers because your priorities change, and you can't grind out on the range for 8 hours a day to figure things out because you've got Bennett Scheffler waiting for you to feed him his Cheerios.
Wait, is that his name?
Yeah.
His name is Bennett?
Yeah.
That's a cool name. It's a cool name. I like Bennett Scheffler.
He's doing
Bennett
it.
Scheffler sounds like a butler.
Yeah, not too high, not too low, not too emotional, not too crazy.
Yeah.
Scottie Scheffler is just doing it in a way that can be repeated season over season, because every challenge that he has been faced with, he has overcome, whether it's changes in his personal life or changes in his golf game.
When you mentioned Xander Schauffele winning 2 majors on his watch, and for those that don't fully understand what that means, that's kind of like Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon winning those 2 titles in the 90s over Jordan if Jordan was actually still playing, right? It's something that you don't see happening when a guy's in the midst of a dominant run. Here's what Xander Schauffele had to say, and I'm getting this quote from the .com article. Do we have the audio of Schauffele? Because I could just read it off, and it still has the same gravitas.
Give it to me, Theo.
This paints the picture very well. He says, I don't think we thought the golfing world would see someone as dominant as Tiger come through so soon. Again, Xander Schauffele talking here, one of the best golfers in the world, a guy who is tight with Scottie Scheffler, but also a tough competitor to him. He continues, and here's Scottie taking that throne of dominance. He's a tough man to beat, and when you see his name up on the leaderboard, it sucks for us. He is openly admitting that a guy that he is actively competing for, a guy that has had a run of more than 100 weeks as the world's #1 golfer, a guy that now has 4 major titles to his name and is 1 away from completing the career Grand Slam and is fresh off of winning another major. He's admitting to us openly, Scottie Scheffler is that guy. He's the man that in a game like golf where it's you versus yourself on the course, Scheffler is actually an added dimension for other golfers that step up to the tee, knowing that he's also going to be stepping up to that same tee or just got done teeing off from it. That, in it of itself, is Tiger Woods-esque. Who is the last golfer that we've had that's had that level of gravitas still in the midst of their prime, still in the midst of their run, and had other golfers admitting it? That's why I'm finally here to say on a Monday, Emotion Monday, July 21st here on Theoretically Speaking, and I'm not saying it definitively because I don't know enough, and that's why you're here, C-Cat, but I have to ask the question, what the heck are we witnessing, and are we finally finding that heir apparent to Tiger Woods in an era in which golf could really use it? The PGA Tour could really use it. They wanted it to be Rory. We thought it was going to be Spieth. Maybe it's coming in the form of a Texan who just doesn't have the same pizzazz, charisma, but definitely has that robot-like just style to his game where you summed it up the best. It's a boring level of consistency that still is on top of the game. It's you know what it is, C-Cat?
What?
It's kind of Tim Duncan-esque. It's kind of Tim Duncan. People don't think of him as that kind of a demon, but he rises his level of already elite play in the postseason or in the quote-unquote majors. He's not the kind of guy to enter the weekend with a lead and relinquish it. He's steady. He's very stoic, especially when he's in the lead. He kind of has some Tim Duncan to his game, and that's not a knock to Scottie Scheffler. It's a compliment to Duncan and what the run Scheffler's on right now.
Yeah, this came where before the tournament he talked about how unfulfilling winning is. Even though everyone's baking their bracket and changing their lives to finally reach the peaks of winning a random Barracuda Classic PGA Tour event where he's rolling out of bed and mowing down the best in the world on a major stage year after year, tournament after tournament. And he just talks about how it just gets more difficult after that and how that's not really why he does it. Here is what Scottie had to say about using that name you mentioned, Voldemort, Tiger Woods, in the same conversation with Scottie Scheffler and how he view things.
I still think they're a bit silly. Tiger won, 15 majors? It's my 4th. Just got 1/4 of the way there. So I think Tiger stands alone in the game of golf. He was inspirational for me growing up, and he was a very, very talented guy, and he was a special person to be able to be as good as he was at the game of golf. And I don't focus on that kind of stuff. That's not what motivates me. I'm not motivated by winning championships, and I don't look at the beginning of the year and just say, hey, I want to win X amount of tournaments. I want to win, whatever it is. I don't do that. I have dreams and aspirations that I think about, but at the end of the day, when I wake up and to practice, I feel like what motivates me is just getting out and, getting to live out my dream.
That's pretty much it. Maybe that's the secret sauce. Maybe the goal not actually being winning, so repetitive and sustainable, the secret sauce for Scottie Scheffler.
You might be onto something, man, because Rory McIlroy, you can tell there's something that gets to him in those big moments, in those big tournaments that is evident in not just his way that he plays and sometimes crashes out, but also the way in which he acts afterwards and speaks about said crash outs. Like Rory McIlroy, as great as he is as a golfer, he definitely plays up what these moments are and what victory means in his head in a way that sometimes can motivate athletes, but clearly for him, it's more of a distraction. Scottie Scheffler is eradicating that from his vision. He's taking that absolutely out of his realm of things to consider, and he's just out there playing golf with a clear mind and a clear heart. And it seems like he can't lose. He doesn't want the Tiger Woods comparison, CCAT, but can I run a couple stats by you?
Please, that's our job. We do that for you, Scotty. You don't have to do that for us.
I'll do it. And that's my thing. He's a fellow Texan. I'm from Houston. I'm going to look out for my guy as we stand tall. Scottie Scheffler, just take a listen to this. From the dates, the amount of days in between Tiger Woods' first major championship and his fourth major championship was exactly 1,197 days. 1,197 days between the time Tiger first won a major and he won his fourth major. CCAT, we learned yesterday on a Sunday of the Open that how many days specifically exactly was it between Scottie Scheffler's first major championship and his fourth?
The exact number you just said, and I forgot it already.
1,197. Absolutely parallel, absolutely equal. It is a direct one-to-one comp. The reign from 1 to 4 was congruent to what Scottie Scheffler has just done. Tiger Woods actually, on the PGA Tour, has the longest streak ever of consecutive wins when holding the outright lead after 54 holes. That's 37 in a row. 37 tournaments in a row when Tiger held the outright lead after 54 holes. He was crowned champion of those tournaments. Scottie Scheffler, he's in the midst of 10 straight, and he is the leader in the tour, obviously amongst active players right now, and he is doing this, again, on the front end of what we can maybe expect to be a dominant and historical run in golf. Like four wins in the Tiger's career, people were able to say it more full-throated because of the way in which he did it, the dominance, the exuberance, the Nike campaign around him, the fact that he was a childhood prodigy that was doing interviews since he was like 10 years old. Scottie Scheffler's been also elite for a very long time. Wasn't he a UT golfer? Yep. Didn't he win the Korn Ferry Tour just 5-6 years ago? He's also a bit of a prodigy himself.
Yeah, maybe you might think about more competition that Scotty's having to go through than Tiger did back in his heyday. But yes, Scotty's been just steadily growing and better and better and better. And then something clicked in the 2022 Masters, and then it's been smooth sailing ever since.
I'm thinking of other things going on in sports right now to compare Scottie Scheffler to, as he's now on the heels of one of the GOATs of golf. Whether you like Jack Nicklaus or Tiger Woods, there's an argument to be made that either one of them are the greatest of all time in the sport of golf. Scottie Scheffler at 29 years old is on a run. If he stays consistent, if he stays dominant, that he can be in that conversation as well one day. He's 29 years old. He's from the great state of Texas. He has an historical dominance that he's in the middle of right now in his sport, which is a major sport in America. Damn, CK, what's a good parallel to that?